Welcome back to another episode of Contested Foul. Our guest today is Risa Umeno. Risa started playing at Illinois and then has gone on to play for a lot of different a lot of different club teams and a lot of different professional teams. Most recently, you just captained Indy Red last season, if I'm correct.
I didn't captain this past season. I captained the previous season.
Okay, but you captained Parlay this past season, right? Or
No,
no?
I
Oh, geez.
also I decided not to do any captaining last
No, that's
season.
okay. Okay. Never mind then. But you have. Oh, there's Luna.
There's Luna.
Okay, well, if you want to like talk a little bit about how you got into frisbee and the beginning of your frisbee journey, go ahead.
Yeah. So I actually started playing soccer and I did soccer and cheerleading in high school. And actually, if we go way back, I used to be really unathletic. So
Oh, that surprises me.
I know everyone says that, and it's just because I don't know, I never learned how to run or anything. So I'm just a very fast shuffler, but that also came later. Um,
Okay.
yeah, no, basically, I made a friend in middle school, and she wanted to try out for cheerleading. So she's like, "Will you try out with me?" And I was like, "Okay, sure. I don't really care." And then I made the team, which was exciting, but she didn't.
Oh no.
Um, yeah, which is a bummer. But then I was like, "Well, I'm not a quitter." So then I stuck with it, and I think that just started my athletic career. And then I had another friend who played soccer, and I got inspired, so I started playing soccer. So I got faster through that. Um, and then at my high school, we had this thing called the Frisbee Fest at the end of the school year. So it was kind of like this informal, bring your own team, and it's like a week long, just games after school. And it was
That's
basically
so
oh,
cool.
informal, you can catch it and take three big
Yeah.
steps, stuff like that. So from there, that's where I kind of started frisbee, and then I broke my ankle during club soccer in high school, and so when I went to U of I, they have, the quad day with all these different clubs and athletics. And the soccer team looked really intense where they were like, oh, we have tryouts and we're only taking 1 to 2 players. And I'm coming back and recovering from an ankle surgery. So I was like, okay, I don't know if I want that. And then, of course, the classic frisbee stand is like, we'll take anyone. We don't have
Yep.
tryouts, and we'll teach you how to throw. And I was like, oh, I dabbled in that. So I actually started there, and then again, I just fell in love with it, the competitiveness and just the culture and the community. So I stuck with it.
Awesome. Where did you go to high school? Where are you from?
I'm from Palatine, so it's the northwest suburbs of Chicago, and so a lot of times people don't know where that is. So I say it's kind of by Schaumburg and IKEA, Woodfield Mall. So that's the
Okay.
landmark. And then a lot of people from Palatine High School and Fremd, which is also a rival high school. People went from both of those high schools to U of I.
Oh, okay. Very cool. So when at U of I you were playing frisbee, when did you know that it was gonna be something that, you were gonna do for the rest of your life?
um,
When you knew.
honestly, I didn't even know that I was going to stick with it. I feared that I was actually going to stop doing any kind of athletics at age 25. And I was like, oh no, I'm going to just become lethargic and whatever. And here we are, I'm still I'm in my 30s and just still kicking. So
Yeah, that's so crazy to hear because you're such an athlete and you're also I have some questions about like you're always at the gym, you're great at lifting and all that stuff, so I have some questions about that for later. That's so interesting to hear. Did you did you get good at laying out in college? Because you're so good at laying out. Is that a college thing? Or is that
thanks.
after?
Honestly, I guess I did it in college, but it wasn't I honestly don't remember. I think maybe we had some of those layout practices where you have a slip and slide or a
Yeah.
muddy rainy day practice. Um, but I think maybe my dad was a volleyball player or he dabbled in volleyball.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that, and he's athletic, and I'm
Hmm.
pretty low to the ground, so it was just easy for me to just fall. I fall a
Yeah.
lot anyway, so
I always
Um,
have been a little jealous of shorter people who play frisbee just for the laying out sake. Not that tall people can't lay out, but it is I would say a little bit scarier maybe to be up so high first. But yeah.
Honestly, I'm always impressed, like, because you do see like all like these like guys who are like 6 feet and above, and they're just like, going all the way low to the ground and stuff. I'm always impressed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like it's just almost like I know it's easier said than done, but it's like, don't even think about it. Don't be afraid of it kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm still working on that. Okay, well let's go on to club. So, how many club teams have you played for?
I guess technically I've been on. Okay, so my first club team was Chicago Spicy Tuna, and yeah, it was a women's team, and so I would actually
Okay.
go with a couple of my teammates from U of I, and so we started like maybe junior year, like 2010. And so we would like commute from U of I to Chicago. They were kind of like a feeder team. They really didn't want to be the feeder team for Nemesis, but it just kind of became that. But I really loved that team. Like it was just fun. The cheers were fun. Obviously, like when I would tell my parents, my mom would have like a riot because it's called spicy tuna, you know. Um, and then I did that for a couple years. I played Nemesis from 2014 to like 2021 maybe. Um, and then I played for Stripes for a year because um, the person I was dating at the time played for Stripes, so I wanted to play with him. And then after that, um, I played for Parlay, and so I've played for Parlay for 3 years at the end of
That's
last season.
okay, yeah. I saw on your Ultiverse. That's like the only way I can do any research on any of my guests on Ultiverse or ask people obviously, but I saw you played for Nemesis for a really, really long time and I was wondering, I mean, I guess you played for Stripes because of your old partner, but why did you decide to switch from women's to mixed? And now like you're sticking with mixed like on Parlay.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's a long story because it was like this whole um, issue that stemmed from like Milwaukee Monarchs, and I did play for them when they first started, and then there were some like social justice issues, so there was kind of a fallout, and at the time, so then I was just like, okay, well, my partner's playing for this team, and these seem fun and easygoing, and they're still like solid players. So why don't I try? And also because I was playing the PUL, I was getting like a taste of the women's already, so then I could also play mixed. And um, I think I was hesitant to play mixed previously because when I played some leagues, it was hard to play with men who didn't know how to play with females or they weren't like as safe and all these things. So I didn't want to get injured. But again, giving it a try with um, ultimate players who are more like comfortable playing with women in a safe way was a great introductory.
So, do you have a preferred women's or mixed?
I think it depends. I think it really depends on who you're playing with too.
Yeah.
But I actually have played a lot of different like international tournaments with like mixed teams, and I think that's a very fun avenue. I like women's a lot because in college I played women's. I think that it's easier um, to become skilled um, in like a single gender from my experience, only because I feel like I'm also like small. I like to call myself fun size, but like, I don't have to try to sky a 6'2" male matching player. So like, in that sense it was like hard to transition, but at the same time having those male matching players too. It was like fun to be able to experience a different type of frisbee and also just like the strategy behind it and like the cognitive part of like, okay, how do I throw to male matching players versus female matching players? And like, again, it's just like being able to use your brain a little bit more.
Yeah, it definitely does depend, I think, on a lot of different things. Do you have any club team or just club memories that really stick out to you? You went to nationals every year you played for Nemesis?
No, actually, it's
No?
funny.
Okay.
We went to nationals pretty much every year except for 2016, which was very humbling because that was the year that Rival became a team, and it's a women's team. And I could be wrong that they started that year, but basically they had a very strong team, and they were called Rival because it was like Michigan players and like Ohio players, and like there were like rivalries in within that. Um, but it was funny because we're like, wait, we're Nemesis. Are they our rivals?
Yeah, I
Um,
didn't even think of that.
yeah. And then they also had like the USA coach coaching that team. So like
It was a
they
good
really
team.
had good strategies, and I think because we were so used to just kind of like coasting in a way, it was just like, oh, okay, we have to really be on our A game, and we lost at regionals, and we only had one bid. So
Yeah.
it was good for us, though. I think it's really good for our region and community to be like able to have um, more talented players and increase your competition because it really fuels you. And so again, like we came back like with like fire under our asses, right? So to gain back that bid or and gain back like our place in nationals.
So did you beat them rival the next year, or were they just like a one and done team? Or there?
We did beat them. I think it was a pretty close game too.
Okay.
So then like the following like maybe 2, 3 years, they were like close games and all that. And then Rival like disbanded pretty recently, but then I think they kind of rebranded to Outrage.
Oh yeah, yeah. Outrage is in Ann Arbor, and I think it's probably like one of their best women's teams. We did play them this year at regionals. Very good, talented
Hmm.
team. Yeah, and I recognize a lot of like Michigan players, and I think they still had some Ohio people too. Oh, yeah, that's so interesting. I didn't know that. Well, do you have any favorite like nationals memories? What's the best you guys ever did at nationals?
I was actually trying to look this up. Like, Ricky was showing me this other website because I've heard of Ultiverse, but then
Yeah.
there's like this other one, like Ultimate Reference or something. And apparently, 2021 we got seventh, so that's exciting.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so that was good. And I think 2013, so like the year right before me, they Nemesis had a very solid team, like Leanne Hoffman and Cami Groom and Paula Seville,
Oh,
and yeah,
I
like
didn't know Cami Groom played for Nemesis.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
I
Okay.
know. um, so like they had a pretty stacked team, and they played well in. I can't even remember. I think they definitely went to quarters, maybe like semis, but yeah, they did a solid job at that time too. And then we had to kind of do like a rebuilding of things.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's
but favorite memories. I know. I'm sorry. I'm like
no,
I
it's
go on
okay.
tangents. So I'm trying to remember. Like honestly, I feel like we had a lot of good times, like with the parties and all that, and just being able to bond with each other. And like my first year, I was in grad school too. So,
Oh.
and technically, I asked the director if I can go and like miss like a couple days because national starts on Thursday. So like I wanted to like leave Wednesday, and she was like pretty against it.
Oh.
Um, but luckily, I like studied really hard and I did well on my tests. So then, like the next year and stuff, she was like okay with me going because she knew like I'll be okay. And it makes sense because it was a brand new like doctoral program. So like she wanted to make sure we can like get like all the accreditations and like have ducks in a row. But and honestly, right now I can't really think of like moments from nationals. But I actually have one of my favorite moments from a wor- club worlds game. In 2018, I played with a mixed team from Colombia, and they were called Macondo. They were such a fun team. Um, Actually, okay, sorry. I'm I
It's all good.
it's been a long week, and also I'm just like, okay, there's all these different fun moments, but now I'm like everything's just mixed up. But I played with High Tide, which was a team from Chennai, India, and so I played with them in 2022. And my car actually went late. Like we missed like the first game or two or whatever. And so then when we got there, we like hopped in, barely like really warmed up or anything like that. And I was handling with this guy and there was like nothing open and whatever. So then I was like, okay, I'm just going to bust deep. So I busted deep and then he like threw a hammer, like a full field hammer, and then I had to lay out for it to catch it. And it was really fun. Just like that was like the first point. And then we were playing Australia, I think. Their name is Lunchbox.
I
I'm
think I might
trying to
have heard of
think.
them.
Yeah, they're a solid team, and I usually have like all my like spirit prizes and stuff, but sorry, it's kind of a mess
No,
over
all good.
here. But basically, they gave me this recipe book as a spirit award. So like every teammate had like a recipe that they really liked, and they like printed it out and like had a spiral notebook to give to
That's
like
cool.
um, as a spirit award. So yeah, I
That's really
loved
cool.
that.
Could you, yeah, well, you were talking about playing with all these different international teams. Could you talk a little bit about, first of all, how you got involved with these international teams? Because that's something I've always been curious about. I'm like, how did this person from America like play on this Australian team? And then also, if you want to talk about more international teams you've played on, I'd love to hear about that.
Yeah. Honestly, I maybe like it's just like right place, right time, knowing the right people. I'm really grateful and just like I love that I've made so many connections with people. So like with Macondo, it was because I had a friend, Sarah Schramm, who used to play, and she went to college with this guy who's from Colombia. And then I guess he reached out to her during that time to be like, hey, do you want to play on our team? And then he asked if there's anyone else interested. So then she reached out to me, and I was like, yeah, that sounds great. So, we got that connection. And I think it was also nice because it was in Ohio in 2018. So again, it was like easier for us to get there.
Good point.
Um, and then for High Tide in 2022, there were like several connections where like people were kind of like asking around if any female matching players wanted to play. And it's unfortunate only because like it was great for like, I love that I was able to get that experience, but it was because a lot of the female matching players couldn't get visas to come to the States.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Um,
frustrating.
it is. And what I learned was it's kind of like females are kind of like second class citizens. So then it was
Mm,
also like another barrier for them to even
yeah.
get that. Um, so, I wanted to be able to represent and also like play with another team to support them and all that. But I hope that that can also be like taken into account because a lot of times, um, you know, these great tournaments and opportunities are in the States, but it's very expensive for people to get here, or like you have to, jump through hurdles and stuff.
Yeah. Huh, that's yeah, that is frustrating. I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I was gonna move on to your professional career now, if that sounds good with you. So
Yeah.
I realized today, how long have you been playing professionally, and which teams have you played for?
So I started in 2020, and I that was the first year that the Monarchs became a team, and so went to tryouts and made the team, and like it was really exciting because like there were like really amazing players, right? Like I got to play with like Georgia Bosher, who's a legend, and I feel like now kids these days probably don't know her name. She was
I
actually,
might
I
not.
think,
Yeah.
she was just inducted. Is that what the word? She
Yeah,
was,
into the Hall of Fame.
yeah.
Oh,
So,
cool.
but amazing person. She's married to Pat Schreiwise, and he also played professionally. They're both from Wisconsin, or at least went to school there. So he played for the Radicals. Super sweet guy. Also played for Machine. So anyway, but then because of COVID, there was basically no season, and
Yeah.
then the following season we only had like a one tournament weekend. Um, which I couldn't go to because my friend was actually getting married in California. So, um, it was kind of a bummer. But again, then after that, with all like the issues and whatnot, I decided to step away and move to a different team. So I joined Columbus Pride. So that was 2022. I loved their logo.
Yeah, I like it too.
It's really cute just because, they have like the Ohio shape and then it's like a claw shape and it's rainbow. So,
Yeah.
um, and I just like love that they were called like Pride because like a group of lions. But then that was like 6 hours away plus like an hour, like Eastern time kind of thing. So I was like, I can't do
Yeah.
this. So then I went to Indy and I played for Indy. Last year was my third year. So I played 2023, 4, and 5 so far. So yeah. So 2020, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years.
Awesome. Can I ask if you just had your Indie Red tryouts? Have you heard anything?
I have had my indie red tryouts. I have heard. I don't know if I'm actually allowed to say
Oh,
anything.
okay.
Uh,
That's
you
okay.
sh-
It'll
okay.
be a mystery. We'll see when the roster drops.
hmm
Um, okay, awesome. Well, I'm gonna hop a little bit back to club too because I forgot you captained parlay last year. Last year? No, 2 years ago.
hmm
And then you captained Indy Red this past no, not the past season. Oh gosh. Whatever he said before. 2024.
Yes.
Okay. Could you talk a little bit about both of those experiences captaining and the differences or similarities they had?
Yeah. So parlay, I actually captained for 2 years, and then indie red, I captained for 1 year. And it was pretty different because with Indie Red, as a professional team, a lot of the logistics and planning were done by like coaches and the rest of leadership. So we didn't have to do as much. At the time, it was kind of like, okay, we're going to be the ones, kind of the liaisons between the players and the leadership, rest of leadership, and making sure that um, our players are heard and if there's any kind of like feedback and all that. I will say, like, even last year, though, there were more where, like, captains would lead more of, like, filming and scouting of, like, teams and games. But I didn't have to do as much, which was kind of nice because I was also captaining Parlay. And my first year of Parlay, they did a transition committee. So they had kind of like leadership who helped out with like tryouts. And then
Okay.
once the roster was made, the team voted on captains. So I'm like when I made the team right for like that first year, and then we voted on captains. I happened to be in Japan at the same time though, so and we voted on captains kind of late on. We already had like a tournament that was unsanctioned in Ohio, and then we had captains at like the end of June, and then I came back. Um, and like at the time too, it was there were like the fires and the smokes too, so I was like coming back
Oh.
right after that. Do you remember that?
Yeah, there's unfortunately so many fires nowadays,
Also
but
true.
yeah, from Canada or
Yeah, I
in the
think so.
Midwest or okay. Yeah, I do, yeah.
So like I think like things were kind of like iffy, and then like we were returning back and stuff, and that was hard because I almost felt like I was catching up because I didn't know like all the nitty gritties prior to, and then
Yeah.
again it's I think the interpersonal stuff and like making sure your players are happy and making sure like we're collaborating with other teams like that was like the hard part for me and like my fellow co-captains, so it was almost like trauma bonding, but because that year I felt like I only got to do like so much in half a season, the latter half. I wanted to captain again just to like be able to do better. I wanted to
Yeah.
be able to build off of what we had and instill just like what I really firmly believe in like our values and being spirited and being, having that like positive energy. So, um, again, it's a lot of work because then we're doing like recruiting and we're trying to like do all these things preseason and um, making sure we collaborate with other teams so we're not like stepping on their toes with like tryouts and all that. Um, so it's a thankless job in a way. I
Yeah.
do appreciate a lot of my teammates like thanked me or like we're very grateful, but it's a lot of hours and time and mental like stuff to do. So
Yeah. And I feel like I've been seeing a lot more, I mean, mostly in Chicago, but the Ramp was doing it too where they have the committee, they had like a trial committee and then you choose captains after the roster has been finalized, which I guess doesn't hurt. I don't think I can't like find anything. I guess it's a little out of the ordinary, but it seems to be working. So,
yeah, I think there's pros and cons to both, right? Like I've been able to experience both. Personally, I like having um, like that preseason time. I think it is a lot of work, but at the same time, I feel like then I'm not playing catch up or like um, I know what's going on more. But then again, it depends on maybe also like having a transition committee and having more meetings prior to, or it's just like kind of the setup and how teams go about it.
yeah, that makes sense. Um, Ricky wanted me to ask who your favorite teammate on each pro team you've played for was or is. One favorite
That's so
teammate.
hard. Um, like I'm trying to think. So actually, for the Monarchs, something that I remember is Melissa Gibbs, who I actually got to play with again on Indy. She's also she's a legend. Like I feel like she's been to like um, beach nationals and worlds and whatnot. Like she has a lot of accolades, and she's just like a great person. Like so she like is a really great storyteller too. So with the Monarchs, she would talk about how like monarchs in general, like they like had this whole big migration and the resilience of it, and it was really inspiring. So like I
That's
loved
cool.
that. hmm Um,
Never thought about.
right? And like you're
Yeah.
learning something too, right? Like
Yeah.
who knew that, like these little frail little like insects like go like beyond like, across the world and stuff.
It is
So
cool.
yeah. Um, let's see. I think I value so many teammates for so many different reasons, right? Like, um, for pride, like I could name so many people, but like I loved being able to play with Sammy Wong. Like we, traveled together, so I got to
Yeah.
know her more, and now we are very close friends, and I really love that we got that experience together. Um, and like that's when I met Penny Wu, and again, she was very inspiring. Like I love that she had like a POC affinity group, so she made sure that like you know there was a space for people of color, and like it was like okay to also like have dinners together. Like we'll have team dinners, and other times like we'll take like maybe one of those times or two of those times to just have POCs and go get hot pot and have that kind of like like community too. And I actually brought that to Red to be like, hey, Jackie, I really like this idea, and like not that like it needs to be anything, but like having that option or having that space so people know that they can also feel like they can, join and feel like they have that like safety net.
Yeah. That is
Um,
nice.
yeah, but honestly, like I think what's amazing is too on Pride, I got to play with so many players that were on Rival. So then it was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
whoa, I actually get to like know you as a human and like, oh, you're not that person that I like quote unquote dislike because we have to play against each other, like um and so it was just like really cool to be able to branch out. So like I even though I had that like fallout with like the Monarchs and Nemesis like years ago, and like I'm fine with all the players now, but um that allowed me the opportunity to also branch out and like be able to be in different communities, meet more people, and again like even see them later in different tournaments and all that. And then for Red, again, it's just like
You can blame
The
Ricky for this. You can list as many people as you like. I do love to like hear people's frisbee idols or like people they really look up to in the frisbee world. I find it's very interesting.
yeah, um, this is not PUO, but like when I was on Nemesis when I was younger, Emily Hadel was like a big inspiration too. I just loved her like fire and grit and just like, I trying to think why I brought her up though. Like there was a segue, there was like a reason, um, but like, huh. Anyway, okay,
That's
I'll
okay.
try to get back to it, but like I think one of the things that I didn't realize, so like this past indie tryouts, um, I didn't feel like I did anything like spectacular per se. And I was like telling Ricky too, like I'm used to being like a flashy player, although
Hmm.
I actually really love consistent players because they're reliable or like it's again like those unsung heroes who keep the team
Yeah.
together. Not that flashy
Yeah.
players can't be reliable or like consistent either, but like I I know that like people consistent non-flashy players can also allow me to shine and also I can help them and like you need both, right? It's like
Yeah, you
having
definitely do.
introverts and extroverts kind of thing.
Exactly.
But this past weekend, people were like, wow, you and Lizzie have such good chemistry. Lizzie Tilden, she's from St. Louis, and she's a hoot. I love her energy. We just vibe so well. And like it's really validating to hear that like people notice that we have good chemistry. I'm just like, oh, I'm just feeding Lizzie, but like we had to have comms for that, like last year we had slightly different playing styles, so like we had to like talk through a lot of things, communicate, but then just seeing that other people also recognize like how easy we make it look now because of the work that we put in the previous season. So I love
That is
playing with her,
nice.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I have some incredible teammates on Red, and like it's just fun to watch them play. I like because I don't always get to play with all of them on the same line, but
Yeah, that is definitely one of my favorite things about club. When I played ramp in 2024, oh my gosh, what year is it even? Who knows? 2024. I remember that like Gloria and Ava were there, and I had seen them on the U like when we played U Chicago at Loyola, and then Ellie was there, and I'd seen her playing when we played against Northwestern, and like all these people were there. But it's so fun to then I got to know people, and I used to like they'd be my rivals on the field because we were all having to guard each other, and then we played together, and I was like, oh, you guys are great, like I want to
mm,
hang out with you guys, like so
yeah,
that is something I think I don't know how unique it is to frisbee, but it is really nice when you have the opportunity to do that. I remembered playoffs last year for Red. You guys made it to the playoffs, right?
we did.
Yeah, but I am remembering because I remember I watched this game. Could you remind me who you guys played in the playoffs?
We
I
played Raleigh.
Okay, and you guys lost, right?
We lost to them, yeah, in the semis, which was unfortunate. But again, like they're a really good team.
They
So
are.
it just again, it's one of those like humbling, like it puts like a fire under you, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, it was also cool to even get to the championships because um, in the projections, like we were not even like,
I remember this now. Yeah. It was
yeah,
kind of like an odd, didn't like somebody else lose and that gave you the go ahead. It was like I remember or no, I remember you beat New
yeah, we
York or
beat
something? Am I
Surge. So, well, we
Surge,
beat New York
Surge.
too. So what
Yeah.
happened was New York was already like qualified um, at the time, but they were like number one in the division that we're in, and then we lost to Surge um, the first time we played them, and then the second time we played them, we beat them, and then we beat New York as well. So then it actually put us in like uh, number one seeding going into the championships, and like that's how we got qualified for it. So that was really exciting.
I do remember that now because I would see Ricky at practice and you'd be talking about it. That was very exciting. Good games to watch. Um, I know you can't say anything, but let's say hypothetically you are on the team this year. Do you guys think you have a great chance of getting it back? getting back to playoffs?
Honestly, I think so, just because I feel like um, I wasn't at like the first tryouts or anything, but like I think too, it just pulled a lot of people and a lot of talent. And I mean, everywhere I go, I also too just like indie culture. I love the red culture because not only are they um, like they're competitive and talented, like skill wise, but they're also like such a social justice oriented team. They really cherish values and like also follow through with them. Like coaches' leadership are always receptive to feedback and they will take them in. They will own things, and then adjust as needed. So like I think and like they've had like a pretty consistent coaching staff. And I know this year it has been a little bit different. Like we have where they have new coaches, but again, there's like a good foundation, and there's just a lot of also like people in the back too. Like you don't get to see like like the other people, but it's just like a really great inclusive community.
That's awesome. Okay, well, I'll be watching this season. Very excited. I remember they always have like the announcers will be like, put somebody in the comments and we'll shout them out, and I would always try to put you in there, which was which was funny because I'm that's like such a frisbee thing for the announcers to be like, oh, we'll shout out somebody if you put them in. Um, do you have any hope for a Chicago professional team? Have you heard anything about that? I heard kind of that someone was meeting with someone, maybe. This is all speculation.
Yeah. Oh, so I remember like years ago, I'm gonna say maybe like 8 years ago. I don't remember, but there was a town hall meeting and talk of a Chicago PUL team. And I went to the town hall meeting and I remember, like, I think we were told, like, in order to start up a PUL team, you need to raise like 4 to 6 grand within 2 to 3 months, which I think is pretty doable.
Yeah,
But
that's not as bad as I thought it would be.
no, but then there
Yeah.
were like people there who were like, no, we can't do that, or like, not for it. And I was kind of surprised and confused because some of these people were like older, like they were probably going to retire soon. So I was like,
Hmm.
well, like what about like, future players and we have so much talent. But again, I think the hard part is also finding someone to take on that project and buy into it, invest in it, organize it. Like it's just so much
Yeah.
behind the scenes. So, but again, I think the more talent we have, the more people like um, talking about interest and stuff. Like this could be that second wave, and then we might have a Chicago PUL team sometime in the future.
That would be awesome, but yeah, I was talking to someone about this, and then I feel like if there was a Chicago PUL team and then all these Chicago players that now play for Monarchs and Red left, it would be an interesting new dynamic. Or like came and played for Chicago, it'd be a very interesting dynamic for those teams to lose. Because I know Milwaukee especially, like a lot of those players are from Chicago, so
Yeah.
that could also be a something that could be a problem if there are two teams too close to each other. But I always hope there's more PUL and WL teams. So
Yeah, well,
hopefully.
so that's the thing too, actually. Like, I will say though, because Pride kind of, I don't know if disbanded is the right word, but
Yeah.
they took some seasons off. That's how we kind of also took on some of those key players, right? Because I played with Champ, I played with Rachel Mast, I played with like other people who were also on Pride, and then they moved to Indy. So like, and it did make Indy stronger.
Yeah.
But like you said, right? Like if we're dispersing again, then like how is that going to make the Midwest or like the PUL?
Yeah. It's an interesting thing to think about. Okay, I didn't know if you have anything else you want to share before I get to my more fun questions for the last 10 minutes. But if you have anything else you want to share or talk about, speak now, but that's okay.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I mean, I will say like if you ask me a question, I'll probably answer it. I'm a pretty open book, so I'm just the yapper.
I always just want to ask that just in case there was someone who really was rearing to talk about something that they find, really important right now or in the frisbee world. But okay, we'll go to some fun questions. First one, D line or O line? Which one do you like the best? Because I've definitely seen you play both.
Ooh, that's a hard one. Okay, I'm gonna just say I'm very indecisive, and I will
Okay.
tell you pros and cons for both, right?
Okay, please. Yes.
Um, I think I'm a D-liner at heart.
Okay.
I want that grit. I want to be like the one to get that like layout D. Like that's what I'm used to being known for, and I like kind of want to get back to that. Because I had some like nagging injuries and all that, and I think I got spoiled by playing O-line for club too. But like I think like D-line, it's nice because um, like it's so satisfying to get the D and then being able to convert it, right?
Yep.
And like I honestly don't know who said it, but like offense wins games, but like defense wins championships. So I feel like um, offense is quote unquote easier, but defense is more rewarding. And like you have to really like tap into another level because like people are like, oh, I can lay out on O, but it's so much harder on D, right? Or like um, yeah, you have to have that fire and just going for that. Um, but I also really like O line because, like, I think I injured my um, ankle. Sorry, my mom's calling me,
Oh.
uh, which is really cute um,
Aw.
because it's February 6th over there. So tomorrow's
Oh.
my birthday, so I think she's
Oh, I didn't
calling
even know
to,
that. Oh no.
uh, yeah.
Happy
Um,
happy early birthdays.
Thanks. So I'll be older in my 30s. I'll call her back later.
Okay, okay.
And but O-line, I think I injured my ankle back. I had surgery on my ankle like for soccer, and then I had an avulsion fracture back in like 2018, 2019, playing at U.S. Open. Um, so then at that time all I was doing was like throwing a lot with like my partner at the time, and so I got better at like throwing. So like I think O is more fun when you have a lot more disc skills and you feel confident with
Yep.
just like just doing the OI or like visionary like hucks over there or like what have you, right? So being able to be creative, but again it also has to be like you have to have that chemistry with players and they know what you want, because if you have all these great throws but then like your teammates don't know you're going to throw that, then it's not a completion. And I think that's one of my biggest pet peeves is like not valuing the disc. So, um, so yeah, like I think it's I do love playing O, but I value defense so much.
That was a good. Those were good pros and cons.
Thanks.
I love O line. I love O line. I just but the one thing I do like about D line, which is kind of a not a good reason, just an anxiety reason, is that like if you mess up like and they score still, or if there's like a little less pressure um
Right.
to score, But versus O line, it's like you have to score every
Yeah.
point because um awesome. Okay, next fun question. What is your hype or like your favorite hype song before a game?
Oh, okay. I am such a music girly
That's why
and
I wanted to ask that. Yeah, you can give a couple.
Okay. Like honestly, it sometimes depends on my mood, but a lot of times it's like pretty hyped. Like, I need it to be like loud and
Yeah.
um like an upbeat song. Um I will say right now, I don't know why Thought Shit is the song I think it's called. This is how I
I
wake
don't.
up, honestly. Like ask Ricky, I need to listen to music to wake up and then I have to dance. Like and I'm just like I
That's so interesting. Hey, if it works, it works.
it does. Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, like that's how I get going. But one of my favorite songs, this is also weird, but I love Pretty Girl Walk. And that's not even like a really hypey song, but like I like that song. Um, and ooh, I wish I could tell you like if there's like a specific one. Um, but I can't even think of one right like at this moment. Probably like a Kendrick Lamar song or something, you know. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
those are good choices. Well, my follow-up question was going to
or
be
Doechii. Sorry, I do
Dochi.
love Doechii.
Okay, my mom loves Dochi. She just went to see Dochi with my aunt, and they had, oh, what did their shirt say? It was like, I don't know. It was very funny. I'll text it to you after. Um,
Okay,
I don't know. It was funny.
that's
Okay, I don't.
amazing.
Yeah, no, she loves Dochis, and she's in her 50s, so she had a great time. Okay, well, what's your favorite dance? Ricky also told me to ask this one.
Oh, okay, yeah. He was asking me like, what's that guy like you follow, you know? And it's funny because Rachel Bradley, when she joined the team for Nemesis 2016, she was like, "Hey, let's learn this dance so that we can like share with Nemesis," and that's how it started. And then people had such a hard time remembering, or they didn't do their homework, so then like I had to be the one to like lead the dances. So I
Yeah.
memorized a lot of them. Um, Worth It is a really good one. That's a pretty
Okay.
exhausting one,
Yeah.
but we'll have to do these. Like I have like a whole playlist of them. There's a Megan Trainor Me Too one. I know a lot of people know Cake by Florida. Like that's a really
Okay.
easy one. Um, and then there's another one. It's not Armani. It's like I'll have to look this up, but it's also a pretty good one. There's Good Times, Good Life or something. Um, and I do a lot of like there's like one that's called Fireball. So, again, honestly, if there's so many, just like look up Fitness Marshall, Caleb Marshall, Dance Marshall. He has so many and like they're just really fun. So,
Yeah, and yeah, that's so fun. I didn't even I thought you were gonna be like, some random dance move, but that was an even better answer. Like, the whole routine. That's
I
crazy.
have to, for my
Yeah.
teammates.
Okay, I remembered what my mom's and my aunt's shirt said. They said spooky coochie on them
Oh
at the
my
Dochi
gosh.
concert.
I
So that was funny. And now my mom has that
love
shirt.
that.
And it was sparkly. Okay, sorry, last
Oh,
couple
yes.
questions. What is your favorite muscle type to hit in the gym? Or like favorite day? Or I don't know what exactly the word for that is,
No,
but
no,
you
no.
know.
Okay, just so you know, I think everyone thinks I work out a lot. I
Oh,
don't.
okay. You
I,
don't?
no, apparently I have this facade, and I'm like, no, I really
I'm sorry,
don't.
I did say at the beginning that you're in the gym a lot, but that is my bad. I
No, no,
completely.
no. It's in my 20s, I went to the gym all the time and I loved
Okay.
doing like hit workouts, Tabata, and like my favorite, oh, hot take, I love push-up burpees. It's
That
a
is a hot
great
take.
workout. It's a whole body workout. It just makes you sweat. It's good for you. Like, so that's a great one. But I think as I get older, I really try to focus on a lot of mobility stuff.
Hmm.
But I do a lot of single leg activities. So like single leg, like split squats or like, just doing like squats. I like doing lower body a lot, but at the same time, I will do um, like one of my favorite like upper bodies would be like I just hold like weights and I'll do like 3 by 3 or well 5 by 5. So I do like 5 bicep curls while I'm holding this one up. Like
Oh.
sorry, you can't even see,
No, no,
but
I kind of
basically
see. Yeah.
like yeah, and then like and then I'm holding this while I do this one, and then like do that like 5 times or whatever, like in like multiple rounds. Like it's just a good burn. So
Okay. I got to do that next time I'm at the gym. That's a good idea.
yeah, like I just honestly I do love working out. I love exercises. They're good for you.
Yeah.
I'm antsy. Like if I don't like do any kind of activity, I'll go stir crazy. So
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Well, so you already gave one hot take about your burpee push-ups. Did you have a more specific frisbee hot take?
I do have a hot take.
Okay.
So when I feel so this one, every time I go to a beach tournament, like we went to Throwback recently,
Mhm. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I much rather lay out on grass than beach.
Oh, okay. Expand on that.
Like, so a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, it's so much easier to lay out on sand. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like, And I think people think like, oh, like the landing is softer, like they feel safer laying out. But like honestly, I I don't get the push off. So like on grass, it's just like nicer because I'm not going through like mounds of sand, which is kind of like quicksand for me. Like again, I'm like 5'2", 5'3". So someone explained it really well. Basically, my momentum is stopped because like I'm planted in the sand. So my typical layouts are like, like I glide. With
Yeah.
sand, it's like a douche. So like it's just like uncomfortable. I have sand in my face. Like it hurts. Like I can't go far. So I don't. It's fine. I'll lay out in sand, but much rather grass.
That's a really good point. Yeah, sand blast. This past year, I like really wanted to get a nice layout in because I was like, it's sand, and I'm trying to work on my layouts, and I did. And I remember I did like I pushed off and I got a good layout, but then I did just hit the ground, and there's no like you're not sliding at all. You're just hitting the
Right.
ground, and I was like, that wasn't fun, but I was glad I did it. But
Yeah.
yeah, you're
Proud of
right.
you.
I haven't thought about that. Yeah. Okay. Final question. What is your dream frisbee line? And you can be very open with whoever you want on the team. We've had a lot of basketball players
Yeah.
randomly, but you can put whoever.
I mean, I
Gender
love like
ratio, go crazy. Yeah.
So, like, I watch Ricky's podcast or like your podcast with Ricky and stuff, and I love Giannis too. Like, there are a lot of phenomenal basketball players, but for me, I was like, okay, well, I kind of want to like keep it with ultimate players because there's so many ballers out there,
Yeah.
and again, indecisive. So, like, my dream line is actually like more than 7 people, which is not what's supposed to happen, but like I would love to like play with like the Cardenas twins, like
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Bella
me
and
too.
Valeria. Like
That'd
they're
be
just
awesome.
amazing. Like I just love that they are quick and but then they're also just so versatile and like they do it all right.
And their
Um,
chemistry is so good.
yeah,
Just, I love watching them play. That's a good answer.
exactly.
Yeah.
They're just so reliable and like they're just everywhere. So like I would love to play with them. Obviously I love playing with Ricky. Like shout out to my partner. But like literally I really value that like he started playing mixed pretty recently, but he's like very easy to play with. Like he puts touch on his throws. He trusts women. Like he will always throw to like people like of any
Yeah.
gender and he's just like easygoing. So like also like having conversations or like if we have feedback anything like that, he's very receptive, and he's also a baller and like it's nice. I like doing like honey passes. So
Yeah, that's nice.
um, and then I'll shout out some of like the teammates that I've played with, like Nico Lake, also just like very consistent O-line handler. Um, Makes everything look easy, very accurate, like really fun to play with. Also just really fun to be around.
Yeah.
So enjoyable teammate. Justin Burnett, he played with us last year,
Yeah.
and like again, he's also just like a fun person to play with. Like he just like really meshed in because he came in later on in the season, and like we played on O line together, so it was like great to just like already kind of have that chemistry somehow. Um, and then who else? I feel like I had some other people. Oh, I don't really know Marquez Brownlee, but I think like he's also a baller,
Yeah.
and like he would just be really cool to play with. And then also shouting out Vaughn Alangilan. Uh, he You have to watch his highlight video that I
Okay.
want to say Kevin Kelly KK made because he used to make all of the machine videos, like highlight videos, and they're incredible. But Vaughn actually got Defensive Player of the Year from Club Nationals like a handful of years ago. So he also played for Machine, and he's not like super tall, but he is just like springy, amazing human. Um, and there's that one game, I don't remember if it was like semis or something, but the opponents like look very open. And so this guy is like literally trying to casually pass like to this guy to assist for a goal, and Vaughn just came out of
Oh,
nowhere.
yeah, I've seen that clip.
Yes,
Yeah. Yes.
Superman hero, like
Okay, I know who you're
lay
talking about.
out, and
Yeah, I've
the
seen that.
crowd goes wild. So yeah, he has a highlight video. I'll have to send it to you, so you have to
Yes,
watch
please
it
do. Yeah.
because it's not just the layouts, right? It's not just the speed. It's like he's getting up, he can get D's anywhere. True D line player, like, but gets the job done. Incredible human. So like he would be really fun to play with, and I even thought one more person. I mean,
That's
there's
okay. That's
so
okay.
many, but um, honestly, I loved playing against Jolie Krebs, who's on
Oh,
Gridlock.
she would also
Um,
be on my dream line. That's like someone I watch where I'm like, I want to handle like Julie Krebs. Like that's someone I watch to try to make my game better.
yeah, like it's just like really cool to watch her just like take on the field or like go through everyone, go to town.
Yeah.
Um, and also like had good interactions with her too. Like I think she's like stepped on me at one point and like it's like she apologized and like I don't know,
Yeah.
like not everyone apologizes or like when they're in the moment. And I'm like, oh, thanks, yeah, like no
That's nice.
worries, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but just like again, watching her and just like because I didn't really know her because I don't follow too much college, but then I love watching like Callahan videos too, and
Yeah.
just
Oh, she
like
had a good
seeing
one.
like her
Yeah.
in person too, just play and like I love it.
Yeah, she's amazing. Okay, well, those are all the questions I had. Thank you so much for talking with me today and sharing your story. And happy early birthday. I hope you have a very fun day
Thanks.
tomorrow. Um, okay, well, everyone else, I'll see you next week.
Yeah,
And
thanks so much for having me. This was really
yeah,
fun.
awesome. No problem.